we're going to go ahead and get started. So let me just set things up one moment. All right, Keisha, welcome. Fiona, welcome. Fiona, congratulations. I know that you started working on your book, so congratulations for that. Oh, yes, Patty, sorry about that. So David, welcome, welcome. All right, so here we go. Today, oh, actually, before I get started, I wanted to make sure that you guys got the email on a new method for e-com. Did you guys get? So it was alicialittle.ecom. Let me just type that in here real quick. Oops, not that link. 1 second. I apologize. My nanny is not here, so I have tried to make this work with her listening right here next to me. Sorry about that. But it is, let me type this in here. .com/ecom. All right, so that's the link. Okay, so let me see if you guys can see. I'm going to share my screen. So make sure you go here. Okay, so I just sent you the link inside the chat. And this is something that we sent out in email to everybody. So it's basically 2 of our friends have this new book and this new system that they're introducing. They call it the Kibo Code. And the Kibo Code is a method of doing drop shipping. So it's a drop shipping method, and it is a different strategy. These guys are very advanced. They have a lot of different software and a lot of different tools. And it's a really cool strategy. They teach you how to do things with drop shipping, but with a traffic strategy that's really unique. So a traffic strategy that you can get used to, a traffic strategy that you would really like, and something that is a lot of fun as well. So in that link, if you go to it, you'll have the opportunity to download this book. And when you download the book, you have the opportunity to sign up for a free webinar training that they're doing, telling you more about it. Now, I personally really like it because it's a drop shipping model. With the drop shipping model, you don't have to spend a lot of money on inventory. And with that in mind, it is very beneficial when you don't have to spend money in inventory, because I have gone down that path before. So they teach you how to do it with a drop shipping method. And with that drop shipping method, and they teach you how to do it with paid traffic and free traffic. Of course, we love free traffic as well. So go ahead and go to that link in that chat box. Make sure that you put in your information so that you can get the free ebook. In the ebook, it's going to ask you to sign up for a live training that they have coming up. So sign up for that live training and you will learn more about it. All right, so Daniel says, is it new? It looks very familiar. So Daniel, there was a part of it, like part of it is something that was launched, I think like a year ago, but they've, improved the system, changed things around, made, after a year of having a program launch, they learned a lot, they said, and made some changes. So that's what that is. So you may have seen it before. And if you did, it was, I think maybe a year ago. And they updated it, basically. All right, so go ahead and check that out. Fiona says she got it, but she doesn't know anything about e-commerce. Yeah, you don't have to. They're going to show you all about that. They're going to show you all about it. Okay, so Daniel, yes, it sounds about right. Correct, yes. Okay, so Antoinette, you said you saw it on the internet and downloaded the book, signed up for the free webinar. Excellent. All right. Anybody else have any questions about it? Doesn't seem like it. Okay, so I'm just going to give you like 1 minute to go ahead, go to that link, sign up for it, learn more about setting up your e-com business, because I know a lot of you were interested in e-com, but you didn't know really where to start. And e-com can be something that's very expensive because usually you have to buy a lot of inventory for it. And then it's risky because if your inventory doesn't sell, then you're kind of stuck with it. And then you also, let me, hold on, the link again. Let's see, it's alicialittle.com. Well, here's the direct link. Let me send you the direct link too. You can use either one of those links. It's the same thing. All right. Sion says, love it. Good. Catherine, you signed up. Annie, I put the link again in that chat box. All right, so good. So that's just, you know, something that we thought you guys may get interest in. And of course, at the end of it, as you know, they're going to be offering you a program to join. You know, it's your choice if you want to join it or not. But I always say that when you're on these different sessions, like you'll always learn something. Even if you don't join it, at least join the live webinar. You're going to learn something for sure. You'll always learn something. You don't always have to join their program, but you should be on it and to see what kind of nuggets that you can pick up. There's going to be things there that you're going to be able to implement in your business right away, even if you're not doing, you know, their exact system. So join it regardless. You know that they're going to offer you something to join at the end. You don't have to join it, but join it to learn something, if anything else. Okay, Sion says that's so true. It is, it is. All right, so we're all good with that? Everybody got that? Sign up for it. Join the webinar, see what they, you know, see what you can learn from it. All right, good, good, good. All right, so let's keep moving then. All right, go. Okay, Annie, you said you signed up. Excellent. Now, today's training, let's see. Okay, today's training is based on feedback from some of our members. Now, a lot of our members said that they love our training, they're doing different things, they're in these different programs. Like I know several of you are in a few, like Annie, you're in a few, David, you're in a few. I recognize a lot of these names, but sometimes it's hard to actually get things done, right? Sometimes it's really hard to get things done, and time management can be a challenge. So I put together this presentation on how to be more productive and get things done. And I'd love it to be a discussion within the group, right? I'd love it to be a discussion within the group so that we can see how we can all help each other as well. All right, so let's keep going. So the first thing, we're gonna go over like 12 different things that are gonna help you when it comes to getting things done. Now, the first thing is clutter. Like, so we're specifically talking about time wasting. So clutter is a huge time waster, right? Because everything seems to be in your way. It's hard to find things you need. It can be stressful. Now, have you ever noticed how peaceful a sparsely decorated room feels, right? So give me some feedback there. Patty, for example, let me see what you think. So does clutter, like I'm in my office right now, and honestly, it's a little cluttered. There's toys, there's some cups here, there's papers on my table, and I don't like it, right? I love it when my space is clean, and it makes me feel more relaxed. It makes me feel more organized. Do you agree with that? Annie says she agrees. So Annie, would you say that your environment is a clean environment? Is it a little cluttered? Do you work better when you are in a clean environment? Patty says, I have way too much clutter in my home. You know, Patty, honestly, recently I spent the past few days, I threw away and gave away so much stuff. I should take a picture of it. I have bags of clothes and toys and stuff. I'm just getting rid of it because I don't like the clutter. It really bothers me. Yes, Fiona says, my bedroom is most of my daughter's toys. It literally clean every minute. It stresses me out. It does. Annie says it needs to be cleaned out. Patty says she's working to simplify. Kim says, I need this, but I have to run. No problem, Kim. But yes, so get rid of the clutter. A lot of here, David says, I'm telling you, cluttered environment creates a cluttered mind. It really does. So see what you can do and take some action and declutter the environment that you're in, not just your office, but your whole workspace. You know, I've spent, like I said, the past few days getting rid of so much stuff, and it feels so much better. So Antoinette says, my environment is clean, but I have a lot of notebooks and other things around me. I'm working from home. Yeah, I do too. And I don't like it. I need to get rid of a lot of stuff. And you know, a lot of the stuff that you have, I bet you don't even need, right? All that clutter that you have, you don't need it. Get rid of it. You know, there's actually been a movement. Have you seen the whole minimalist movement with people getting rid of their stuff, downsizing their homes? Like, it makes a difference. So spend some time getting rid of the clutter. Okay. Now, the next thing is, so David says, declutter your mind too. Let's go on things and issues and emotions that add no value. Hey, David, you read my mind. This is the next one, worrying, right? There's no evidence that your thoughts impact the external world. You can worry all you want about the weather, your debt, your relationship, but worrying only creates physical and emotional stress, right? It makes you less productive and less capable of dealing with the issue, right? So how is worrying? A lot of times, you know, people worry about things that they can't control. You know, that saying that says, control the controllables, right? So exactly, Annie says we can only control what we can do, right? And when you start worrying about things that you can't control, that's just going to cause more physical and emotional stress with you as well. So I know it can be a challenge, but how can you eliminate worrying and changing your mental attitude on worrying about things that you can't control? You have to learn how to brush that off and move on and not let that consume you because you can't control it, right? So serenity prayer, says Cynthia Simmons. Great. Antoinette says, so true. So yes, so worrying isn't going to help you, right? So realize that and figure out a way. If you can't control it, don't let it control you, right? Yes. So, yeah. Right. So worrying about doing everything, running my business, finance, and wanting to travel. Right. Oh, so Patty has a tip here. She says that every morning she kind of does a brain dump, brain dump, and that helps her eliminate the things that she may have to worry about. I love that. Thank you, Patty. So let's see. It helps eliminate the worry. So Diana says, turn that worry into action on what you can do. Yes, definitely. So turn that worrying into action. Let's see. David says, the prayer I use, God granted me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the most important, the wisdom to know the difference. I love that, David. I love that. Let me say that again. God granted me, oops, my screen just changed, hold on. God granted me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and most important, the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you, David. Thank you. I like Christina says, worry is a rocking chair that takes you nowhere. Yes, that's borrowed, but I love that, exactly. Annie says meditation, yes. So worrying, get rid of it. See how you can eliminate that. Control what you can control. The next thing, perfectionism. Ask yourself how well something needs to be done and strive to attain that level of quality. Perfectionism is an impossible goal that requires far more time than it's worth. A lot of time, perfectionism stops people from succeeding, right? Because you don't want to, like, for example, when we launch products, you know, or other people launch products, or courses or start their online business, they want every single thing to be perfect in order for them to launch. Well, guess what? It's never going to be perfect. You're always going to see something that you want to change. You're always going to want to tweak or think, so just do it, get it done. Don't let perfectionism hold you back, which happens all the time. Now, I'm not saying don't do something half-assed and, you know, it's not good. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Get it done, get it done. Exactly. Annie says you learn along the way, David, the Pomodoro technique, I'm actually going to talk about that a little later. Christina says clutter also brings worry. Yes, it does. I agree. Now, it kind of backtracks a little, but clutter, also, I feel clutter is kind of a example of being not organized. And when I'm not organized, I'm stressed, right? So when I have a clean environment, I feel more organized and more on top of things. And I'm on the ball, so I'm not as stressed and worried as much. So yes. Seon says worrying is a choice. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You can choose to worry about it, or you can choose to do something about it or make some changes, right? So perfectionism can get in your way. And David says, get to the 75% and move forward and improve the rest along the way. Agree with that totally. So get to your 75% and go. And then, as Annie says, we learn along the way, right? We learn along the way. Okay, the next one, electronic devices can sometimes be time wasters. How much time do you spend each week watching TV, surfing the internet, staring at your phone, playing video games? Count up all the time and ask yourself that there's something more productive you could be doing. Now, I don't think this is a big one for this group. I think you guys are pretty productive and don't really spend that much time playing video games and so forth. But if you do, then that may be something that you can eliminate and do something that's more productive, right? Something that's more productive. Now, I remember I was, working with some students on Facebook, and I would get invitations to like play Candy Crush and those games that they play on Facebook. But then the next day they would be telling me, oh, I'm not making any money, I'm not doing this. I'm like, well, you just sent me invitations to Candy Crush. What? And you're telling me you're not making any money. Well, maybe you shouldn't be playing Candy Crush right now on Facebook. So, I am a strong believer though in having balance. So for example, my husband and I at night love to, watch Netflix together. And, we binge watch sometimes, but then, you work hard, you play hard, right? So just pay attention to how much time you're wasting on doing things that could be more productive. Antoinette says, when I'm stressed, I play with my devices. But, if that's something that helps de-stress you, then that may be, a different thing. So you're not really wasting your time. You're actually helping yourself if that's the way to help you relieve stress. And that's true. Like, for example, sometimes when I, need to de-stress too, I love looking at Pinterest. Do you guys know Pinterest? Pinterest is, I find all these like crafty stuff and cooking things, and, I find joy in going through Pinterest. So, that's something that I like to waste my time to de-stress on sometimes when I'm laying down in bed. So, sometimes you'll find things, but as long as you have a balance, you're not wasting time, surfing the internet and staring at your phone. David, yes, TikTok can be addictive as well. My daughter introduced me to TikTok, and that can also be addictive, yes. Annie says it's a fabulous platform. Yes, David says make sure to give yourself limits, yes. Diana says TV is called an income reducer. Yeah, I remember I was watching, it was like with my cousin or something, and it was some reality show, and I was watching it and I was like, this is a complete waste of my 30 minutes. Like, this was the dumbest show I've ever watched. Like, I just lost brain cells watching this show. Yeah, pay attention to what you're watching as well. Christina says Pinterest is highly educational. It is, Christina. You can learn a lot on Pinterest. I really enjoy it. So once again, monitor how much you're spending on electronic devices, and your kids as well. How much time are they spending on electronic devices that's not beneficial? All right, so let's keep going. So the next one kind of goes along with it, social media. So social media, we teach social media. So I'm never going to tell you get off social media, right? But I am going to tell you it does take up a lot of time, and it can create stress when you're looking at other people's social media lifestyle, right? So that can be, as you know, everything's not always as it may seem. You may see pictures of people and that's their social media life, but, behind the scenes, it may not be the same. But it stresses you out because you see them doing all this fantastic stuff, and, just, limit yourself and use it for what you want to use it for, and don't waste your time on it. And he says that's a big one. So, yes, Sion says these advices are so practical. So, I mean, to be honest with you, do you spend a lot of time? Do you feel that social media sucks up your time? Do you feel that social media, and in a good way, in a bad way? You know, when we're using social media, we're usually using it, you know, for business. That's our main reason to use social media. Of course, we do use it for other things as well. But let's see. Our friend from TikTok says, use social media, do not consume social media. That's a good one. Annie says she does use it, but she uses it for her business. Yeah, so that's different, Annie. So, you know, we use it for our business as well. So yes, but this is definitely one that can be a time waster. Yes, Christina says there's always room for each activity if there's time management. Exactly. So if you learn how to manage your time, you can definitely do all of these, right? And once again, don't let social media shape you in any type of negative way. Because I know that some people, getting on social media depresses them, and they said they can only take so much of it. So, you know, don't let it get to you in that way as well. The next one, multitasking. So it's far more effective. Studies have shown that it's far more effective to do one thing at a time. Refocus your attention on multiple tasks, take time, and destroys momentum that you've created. Now, this is something that a lot of times that I have to stop myself from doing. You know, I'll have all these different projects, but it makes I get things done better when I focus on it. You focus on something and you get it completed, as opposed to having 10 things, you know, they say 10 balls in the air juggling, you know, you're going to drop one, right? So multitasking to an extent is not the best thing to do, right? So focusing on something specific, getting it done, and then moving on to the next thing. And a lot of times it's very helpful to block it out in your schedule. So that's one thing that I do for my calendar. I'll say, okay, from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, I'm working on this project. I don't let anybody bother me. I, you know, don't answer any of my messages because I'm focused. I'm trying to get something done within this specific time frame. So multitasking can be detrimental. I know sometimes you do have to do it, but don't let it be a habit. And whatever you're multitasking, if you can only do, you know, a few things, but don't be doing 10 things at one time, it's not going to work, right? So David says you might drop the most important ball, right? If you're juggling 10, which one are you going to drop? Which one are you going to drop? Annie says definitely not good when you're running a business. Yes. So if you find that you have all these different things that you have to do, think of how you can delegate something, right? If you're juggling 10 balls, should you be juggling all those 10 balls, right? Maybe 2 of these need to go to this person, 2 needs to go to this person, and then the last 2, the last 2 that are left are the ones that you should be focusing on. All those other ones, how else can you delegate those, or who else can help you complete all these tasks that you're trying to do, right? Christina says, yes, exactly. Multitasking can work if they're related. Exactly. If they're related and one relies on the other, then that is definitely something that can work. Yes, for sure. Okay, but one of the things that I do want you to focus on is to see how you can delegate or outsource some of these different tasks that you're working on so that you don't have to do all of them yourself, right? The next thing, commuting. So this is about commuting. A 30-minute drive to work adds up. That's 250 hours a year, or the equivalent of 6 40-hour work weeks. Wow, that's a lot, right? So during this commute, listen to informative or inspirational audios or podcasts if you drive. If you're riding along, you can read, send emails, make phone calls. So with that in mind, what are some of your favorite podcasts? These are some of my favorite podcasts that I listen to when I'm commuting. Rick Mulready, The Art of Online Business, David Bach, he's a financial person, Social Media Examiner. So there's some of the things that I listen to if I'm driving, if I'm driving in the car. So I know, let's see, do any of you have long commutes? I know that a lot of you work from home because you're entrepreneurs. Chandra says the Ramsey show. Oh, Dave Ramsey. Yes, that's good. Antoinette says it's about 45 minutes to an hour to get to her job. And so what do you do during that time, Antoinette? Do you use that time to learn something, to educate yourself? Or sometimes I like to just be in complete silence. You know, sometimes that's relaxing as well to clear my brain. But what do you do during your commuting time? Yep, so you said you listen to music, and that's probably relaxing for you, right? You listen to the radio. All right, yeah, so, okay, good. All right, so does anybody else listen to anything specific or during your transportation from one place to another? No? Bruce says he listens to Audible. Yes, books, great. Yeah, good. So use that time. And then, you know, another thing that is new that a lot of you have heard of is Clubhouse. Clubhouse is also something, the app that Alicia was talking about in a couple trainings ago, is also something that is, you know, an audio that you can listen to and learn from as well. Commuting lends itself to some multi-million tasking, reading, studying. Yes, it does. It does. All right, so take advantage of that commuting time. All right, now maintaining your life. So these are things that have to be done that don't enhance our lives, but merely maintain our life. So some examples are shopping, cooking, cleaning, laundry, cooking again, mowing the grass. If possible, try to pay others to perform these tasks for you so that you don't have to do it yourself. So if possible, right, how can you outsource this stuff? Maybe mowing the grass, there's a kid down the road, you could pay, you know, whatever, $10 for him to mow your grass for you, so you don't have to spend the time doing it. What about shopping? Like during the whole COVID stuff, you know, I ordered from Instacart. Instacart would go shopping for me at Publix, right? So now I'm actually in Jamaica and I order Instacart here for my parents in Florida, right? Let's see. Annie says a cleaner, online shopping, gardener. Yes. Right. Some of the activities do help de-stress. I do agree with that as well. So, for example, I like to be in the yard and do like gardening and stuff like that, because that's something that de-stresses me, and I like to see my plants grow and flourish, right? But then some things I don't like to do, like I don't want to clean. That cleaning does not distress me. So, you know, I have somebody that cleans for me, right? Laundry, I don't like doing laundry either, so she does the laundry as well. So if you can hire somebody to do some of these things for you, do that, right? Antoinette says she loves baking. Yes, baking is a great thing that you can do. Sion says, Lorette, I thought you were Alicia. I know, everybody says that. I know. Annie says, I don't like doing that either. Yes. Oh, great. So Donna says, I have a college-age niece who always needs a couple of dollars. I've hired her at $25 a week for her to pick up mail, groceries, small errands, and that takes a lot of time, but it doesn't require my attention. That's excellent, Donna. That's excellent. Diana says, I have a chore chart for my kids, paying them for doing tasks. Yes, definitely. That's great as well. That is great. Yes, so when you can, or if you can, see how you can have others help you with these types of tasks. Okay? Now, the next one, indecision, right? These are different things that can, indecision. So if you lack a clear direction, you're likely to do nothing. Learn to make up your mind quickly. Make the best decisions you can and get busy putting it into action. So we asked a few people this question. Back in with the new year, if you could change something, what would you have changed? What would you have done differently in 2019, last year, that you're going to change this year? And a lot of people said they would move faster, make faster decisions in life, in business, in relationships, and whatever it is. So Yeah, so having a clear direction with what you're going to do is really going to make a difference and help you move your business faster. And I would have to agree with that. A lot of times, the fact that you're sitting there thinking, should I do this? Should I not do this? Or what's the best direction for this? All of that does not move you towards the goal. You need to move faster and make decisions, even if the decision is a no. If I'm not going to do this, or I am going to do this. So indecision is something that can waste your time. So you need to make sure to give yourself some clear direction and put it into action. So when asked, what would you do differently? Next time, the answer should not be move faster, because that's what you're trying to do right now, right? Let's see. So David says, indecision is a decision. Yes, it is. Diana, exactly. She says that a speaker recently said that the universe rewards speed. It certainly does. It certainly does. David said, can you share these slides with me? Yes, yes. And David says, remove people from your life that add no value and waste your time. So there was actually a presentation. I don't know if you were there, David, but we did a event here in Jamaica, and Alicia spoke, and one of the things that she spoke about were time wasters. So she was saying that it was kind of funny that in your phone, you know how people have, names, John Smith. So she would put next to somebody's name, like John Smith, she would put next to it waste man. So when he calls, or time waster, she would see it come up and she wouldn't answer the phone because that was somebody that was a waste of time. So yeah, so I like that. People that are adding no value and wasting your time, get rid of them. Let's see. Donna says, give yourself a deadline. Definitely. So if you say that you need to get something done, give yourself a deadline to get it done. It will definitely make a difference. Deadlines make you get things done, even if you, decide to pursue it or you don't pursue it, but deadlines help. All right. The next one is meetings. So those of you that are in corporate America, I'm sure you can relate to meetings. Even those of you not in corporate America, entrepreneurs that have teams, right? So meetings can be a time drainer, and they can suck the happiness from your soul. An effective meeting is worse than not having a meeting at all. Plan appropriately for productive meetings and try to avoid the rest. Make an agenda and stick with it. Now, I would never tell you not to have meetings. You have to have meetings, right? You have to meet with your team, talk about what's going on, make progress, make plans. But the key is to make an agenda and stick with that agenda, right? So stick with that agenda. You have certain things that you want to go over that and stick to it. Don't waste time. Make sure that you have a plan going into every meeting, and you have actionable steps at the end of each meeting, and who's going to do it. So if you say, okay, David, you need to do X, Y, Z, and it's due by this time, have actionable steps, actionable things that need to be done, and they need to be done, and then what's going to happen in the next meeting. You need to know that as well. So when you have meetings, don't avoid them, but make sure that they're planned out. You have an agenda, action items, and action items at the end of each one, right? So Antoinette says, my job is full of meetings, which sometimes last for 2 hours. Oh, and David says, I can relate. Most of the chairpersons do not know how to focus and get action results with action-oriented meetings. They add fluff and waste time. I am so much not a time waster, and it really aggravates me when there's a lot of wasted time. So, if you are, you can't help it if you're sitting in a meeting and they're wasting time. But, when you're running a meeting, make sure that your meetings are effective. And when you're in a meeting, make sure that when it's your turn to talk or your turn to share, that you are being effective in whatever you're trying to discuss in that meeting. David says meetings shouldn't be no longer than a half an hour. Totally. There's trainings on how to run a meeting. Like there's complete separate seminars on how to run efficient meetings, how to plan them, how to organize them. And all these people that are running meetings need to take that. Antoinette says, yes, you have to set a time when people should speak and what they need to speak about and what's the goal of whatever they're speaking about as well. Yes. All right. The next one is planning. Have a plan for the following day before you go to bed. It's a great way to avoid wasting time. Make a plan at night and then spend the day working your plan. Create an actionable to-do list. Michael says, multitask while watching a Webby. You know, Michael, I cannot, it's so hard for me to sit, like I said, I watch Netflix with my husband, and it's hard for me, honestly, to just sit there and watch a movie. I have to be checking emails or my laptop in front of me, or it's just so, it's hard for me to just watch a movie. But I see that you were saying, well, multitasking, yes. So Annie says, I plan my day, but sometimes I can't keep it up. Yeah, so a lot of times you can't keep it up, I find, because sometimes your plan maybe isn't realistic enough. So for example, I'll write my to-do list or my action plan for the next day the night before, but I'm realistic about it. A lot of times things will take longer than you think it will, and adjust for that, right? So plan for example, I've seen people make a to-do list that's this giant to-do list. I'm like, there's no way you can possibly get all that done in one day. It's not going to happen. Make a realistic list that you can actually get done, and you'll then feel a sense of accomplishment, right? I love to see, I have an online, like I have a to-do list that's on my phone, but I also like to write it down on a piece of paper, like old school way. I have a notebook, and I put a date on the top, and I write out my to-do list. I categorize it. It was something I learned back when I, got my first job on how to do your action plan for the next day. And I still do it. I like the paper. And I write down what I do. When I finish the task, I cross it off, right? And then I look at the end of the day that all my tasks are crossed off, and I'm like, yes, that was a very productive day, right? So that really helps me do that. So when you do plan for the next day, make sure it's realistic and that you can actually get things done. You can also plan for things ahead of time, like this is my plan for tomorrow, but then you can also have a high level, like this is my goal for the entire week, that I need to get this stuff done as well, right? Let's see. David says, I would use otter.ai and transcribe what needs to be done, and early the next morning, I will reassess before starting. I love that. I love that. So that's a way to be more productive. That saves you some time because you're using the transcription tool. That's very great. Good. Let's see. Alicia shared making a list of what you don't want to do and outsource. Yeah, for sure. So like I was talking about the multitasking, if you're juggling these 10 balls, out of those 10 things you're juggling, what can you outsource? What can you get rid of, right? So that you can be more productive and focus on the things that you should be focused on, right? Another way, David says, is to make notes on the action sheet as the day goes along. So at the end of the day, you would have an action list ready to assess and use. Yes, thank you, David. All right, now this is the last one, David. This goes on to what you were saying as well. So fatigue, it's hard to do your best work when you're tired. You work slower, you make mistakes, you have decreased ability to focus and make wise decisions. It's very important to get sleep. Not only is it for work, but also for your health, right? Sleep is the way that your body recuperates from your day. So you have to have that sleep. Taking breaks is another way to recover or to avoid mental fatigue. Schedule breaks into your work day. Very important, right? Very important. Let's see. Michael says sticky notes in the computer screen when you can no longer see the screen. Yes. Christina says time slots to manage activities. Yes, for sure. So one thing that I like to do is I actually put times, like between 2 and 3, I'm working on this. Between 3 and 4, I'm working on this, right? Nora says, can you write down the website link? Yes. Okay, so here is the Pomodoro technique. This was something that David was talking about. It's a time management system that encourages people to work with the time that they have rather than against it. So using this method, you break your workday into 25-minute chunks separated by 5-minute breaks. Let me show you what that means. So basically, you work for 25 minutes, you stop for 5 minutes. Work for 25, stop for 5 minutes. One thing that really helps you to do is, one, it helps you to take a break, right? So that you can move along and get up, stretch your legs, don't stare at the computer screen for so long. But it also forces you'll be more productive because you know you only have 25 minutes. I got to get this done. I only have 25 minutes. I'm not going to go surfing around on the internet, playing a game or doing this. I only have 25 minutes. I got to get this done, right? So let me show you really quickly. Let me see if this will pull up. Yep, so this is that link. I'm going to put it in the chat box. Here it is. So this is the Pomodoro timer that you can use. So for example, my 25-minute work slot, I'll push start and it's timing me for the 25 minutes. After the 25 minutes, it's going to beep and then I rest for 5 minutes and then it keeps going. So this is a great way to, a great tool that you can use to help become more efficient. And this is a strategy, like David was saying, that helps you get things done, helps you put that break into your day. David was saying sitting too long all day damages your back and your spine. A break allows you to ease the strain. My back was damaged for sitting too long without breaks. Yeah, David, thanks for sharing that. I have to remind myself, that's why I like to do things like this, because sometimes you need somebody or that outside alarm to beep to tell you get up, because I could sit at the computer all day and not move. So you definitely need to have those breaks. Okay, so that is a technique that I love to use, and hopefully you can see how you can incorporate that into your day as well. All right, so hopefully this was a helpful training for you. They were 12 different things on 12 different time wasters, 12 different things that you can do to change your day to be more productive, get things done, and just live a healthier, happier lifestyle and your business as well. So I will definitely be sending out the training, the replay for this. I know some of you are asking for the slides, so hopefully it was helpful. And some of these, there were 12 things here. Now, I hope that some of these that you'll actually implement. Like after we hang up, I'm going to start with the number one, the clutter, because my office is a little messy right now, and it's stressing me out. So I'm going to start with number one, getting rid of this clutter. And hopefully you'll be able, out of these 12, that something in there you're going to implement. And I'd love to hear it. Post something in the Facebook group. Hey, Lorette, I just did the Pomodoro technique and it really helped me. Or, hey, I decluttered my office today and I love it. So let me know out of some of these if you were able to implement them and how they were able to help you. Okay. Yes, Patty, definitely. The timer things, using Alexa. My daughter actually uses Alexa for her classes. So she wakes up, it's her what's something she has to do every morning. She tells Alexa and schedules all her class times so that it reminds her. The transcription tool, it was otter.ai, right, David? Otter, OTTER.ai was the transcription tool. David was saying the presentation applies to every part of your life. It does, and not just work. Yes, it does. Okay. All right. So once again, thank you, everybody. Let me know if and when you implement some of these. Please do, and I guarantee it's going to help you. Oh, and then David says the otter.ai is an app on his phone that he uses. So there you go for the transcription. All right. Okay, take care, everybody, and I will chat with you later. Bye-bye.